Hello my friends, we have the good news from the latest military map update, so let's go to Avdiivka at first, and Ukraine performed the assault maneuver and pushed Russian forces away from the city. So it was yesterday and it is today. Clearly you can see that Russia withdrawn their forces away from this area, so it's very hard for them to cross the lakes over here in attempt to get control over the city suburbs. So it's better to say not the city but the town. Also Russian forces were pushed near to Kamenka across the road. And still you can see that there are some spots that they are unable to cross since the beginning of the war. Also if we check the gray area, you may see that it decreased gradually almost by 2 times. It means that Russians are not moving forward as they were before. So why does the Russian forces lose their positions in Avdiivka? Basically because they've took all of their reserves from that town and thrown them to the Bakhmut city. For now, the main goal for the Russian army and personally for Putin is to get the Bakhmut city under the full control till the 9th of May, the parade date, where Russia celebrates the victory in the Great Patriotic War. However, today the Russian army and the Wagner forces were not so successful in the Bakhmut city, and you may see the timeline. It was before and it is today, so we pushed them away from those buildings. Yes, the fighting in the city is happening for each building and for every street, and now it's very intense. However, there is the probability for the Wagner forces to withdraw from the Bakhmut completely. At least Prigozhin said about it in his interview. You see that there is the clear confrontation between the Russian regular army and the Wagner soldiers. Shoigu and other high-ranked military Russian officials are not willing to see Prigozhin getting some points in front of Putin. That is why they try to cut as much supplies as possible, and the Russian bureaucracy machine helps them a lot. Also, Russian military hospitals stopped curing the Wagner soldiers from their wounds. Prigozhin said about it in his interview, so the only way out for Prigozhin is to get away from the Bakhmut or take the city. And we can see that he is still unable to take that city till the 9th of May. Maybe he would be capable if he had received enough supplies from the regular Russian army. So for Prigozhin personally, the Bakhmut is go no go. If he takes the city, he will be the favorite of Putin. If he loses it, the Putin will turn away from him. Also, there is one more force, one more big clan, the FSB, and they want to reform the Russian army. They want to get rid of Shoigu and they want to get rid of Prigozhin as well. And FSB has their own PR department, the Angry Patriotic Russian Club, with a main speaker, war criminal Strelkov, who is the ex-agent of the FSB. But I'm sure that he continues his service, because after what he told about Putin and about this situation with the Russian military command, he should have been in a prison long time ago, but no, he was able even to declare the new force. Yes, I forgot to tell you about the Vuhledar. There is the update for this gray area. Russia moved their forces out from this place, so some of the fields got freed from the Russian occupiers over here, but not significant change happened for a long time actually in Vuhledar. Alright, a couple of words about the Russian military clans and what they want. Actually, each force that I told you about, the regular Russian army, Shoigu, Prigozhin and FSB, they want Ukrainian army to start the counterattack. Prigozhin openly wants the Russian army to be defeated by the Ukrainian army, and he says that it's one of the ways out. In that case, he will be the favorite commander of Putin and he may get more resources. Shoigu and the Russian army, they want the Ukraine to start a counterattack, but only in the Bakhmut city to defeat the Wagner army. And FSB wants both of those forces to be defeated, because in that case they may put their own leaders in ruling of this situation. What we know from the leaks, that Putin is kind of angry on FSB because they presented the wrong materials about the political and social attitude of Ukrainian people towards the Russian Federation. So Putin really thought that there will be not a big fight against the Ukrainians. and now he trusts more to Shoigu and also to Prigozhin. The Russian FSB agents do not like that stuff, and their main PR leader said many bad words towards the Russian president. So if all of those clans and forces do not want to win this war, they will lose it. The situation inside the Russian army is very inspiring for me as for Ukrainian. Nevertheless, the Russian army continued their strikes on Ukrainian territory, and today it was reported about a possible big attack by the Russian bombers and also by the ships. So they put them to the Black Sea over here, and they will fire the caliber rockets, and the bombers usually fire the rockets from the Caspian Sea. So today the Pavlograd was attacked. Where's the Pavlograd? It's here near to the Dnipro city. And as it was reported, probably Ukraine lost some of the ammunitions in that town. I published it on my Telegram channel. You can see the explosion is very big, and there are some of the traces like from the rocket fuel. The similar stuff you may spot when you see the explosion of the S-300 system, for example. So my greatest fear that there was the storage, the big storage of the Ukrainian ammunition that was needed for the future counterattack. I hope that it's not like that, and now I'm checking the information about this particular case. And this is the new picture that comes from the Pavlograd. You can see that clearly this was some sort of the ammunition with those traces. Sadly, but it could be the bad situation for the future counterattack of Ukrainian army. Again, I hope that I'm wrong. And we have received the warning about the possible big Russian rocket attack. Some say that it's gonna be a very big one with around 100 rockets. But mostly that information comes from the Russian side. The group of the Ukrainian volunteers and engineers have launched the new project to build the cruise missile. It calls Termbita. It's not gonna be the big one as the Second World War V-1 rocket. No, the warhead weight is just 20 kilograms, but this rocket could be effective. Or it's better to say the cruise missile. So why do I compare it with the V-1 rocket? Because the principle is very similar. It uses the pulsar jet engine. And here is the test of that engine of our volunteers. They're trying to do it as light and as powerful as possible. So hopefully everything works out for our guys building that rocket, but it's not gonna be the massive one. We'll have just a limited production because guys are in lack of the resources to build it massively. Right, we get some data from the deep state. That's Avdiivka near to Vuhledar, and before I told you that there is the new gray area. That happened because of the fighting that intensified on the left flank of the Russian forces. The guys from the deep state said that the left flank of the Russians is very weak out there, so we may use, I think, this time to counterattack this a little bit. But again, we have the natural obstacle, the lake and the small river over there that is hard to cross with the heavy armored vehicles. And there was so much critics towards the Ukrainian side saying that we eliminated the fisherman, the civilian who wanted to fish near to Kherson area in one of those islands. But actually it's not like that, because even though this guy wears the civilian clothes, he got couple of the RPGs or something in his boat. So this is the anti-tank, let's say, device that we think that was on that boat, 2 units of those, even with the marking. But Russians now say that those are the special boxes to stow the fishing equipment. Well, I can tell you as the person who used to live during the summertime in Cherkasy, very close to the Dnieper River during the martial law state, so we are forbidden to use any boats on the water during this time. Every boat that's gonna be spotted will be just kaput, and this guy was floating between Ukrainian and Russian sides, and he got RPGs in his boat. So I've published the full video on my Telegram channel. And by the way, my friends, subscribe for my Telegram channel, because if something goes wrong on YouTube, you will not be able to find me, but you always may find me on Telegram, where I make more updates and I can tell about many things without any censorship. So the boat with this guy was just kaput, and some say that it was the precision shell of the artillery system. No, my friends, it's not possible, or it's better to say it's almost impossible. And from the information coming from the military command of that area, it was just the mine that was floating also on the way out from this channel. So this guy was just unlucky to hit it. The mine was closer to this place, and that's it. Ukraine could launch the offensive operation against Russia at any moment, but I guess we are just waiting for the better weather. But we cannot wait for a very long time, because we need to move our forces. We are unable to store them at the one place for a very long time, because as you saw today in Pavlograd, probably it was the attack on the ammunition warehouse of the Ukrainian army. And Russia still has the tools to do it. They have the cruise missiles, they have aviation, and Ukraine is unable to cover all of the sky over Ukraine with the help of the air defense systems. And some of the dark humor from the producer of the plastic bags in Russian Federation. They say that they will support the special military operation from each plastic bag they sell. So they have the special the special advertisement marketing. You can see if you buy the plastic bag, it belongs to ZOV. I think that they should give them for free to the Russian army for the humanitarian support, let's say. My friends, now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, you may always find the links in the video description just below. You may also support me on Patreon or on the sponsorship of this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your help and your support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.